Have you ever thought about how old school voting is?
What can I do for you this afternoon, Betty?
We talk to our doctors over Skype and meet our soulmates on an app, but when it comes to electing our next government, we still trudge to the local school and mark a piece of paper with a tiny pencil. It does result in brilliant scenes like this. But is our voting system out of touch? This is electronic voting in 3 minutes. There are different levels of e-voting. You could use a computer at a polling station.
I just want everybody to see what an incredibly efficient process this was.
Usually, you'd also either have to fill in a piece of paper or you'd see a printout of your vote.
Well, this was wonderful.
This is the system that lots of American states use. Or you could vote remotely over the internet, which is the system Estonia uses. They're the only country in the world to let everyone vote remotely in their elections. There's even been a suggestion that you could vote by text. But research showed voters thought it would trivialise the election. So is e-voting a good idea? Well, it could potentially make the process more secure. Ballot stuffing, like this brazen example in Russia, would be a thing of the past, because voters would be electronically identified. Somaliland even scans the irises of voters to make sure they are who they say they are. They're the only country in the world to do so, and the process has massively reduced the level of multiple voting in their elections. But e-voting comes with its own security risks. Most problematically, hacking. Russian-linked hackers are accused of targeting the election systems of 20 American states during the 2016 election.
Anyone who's planning any mischief will be thwarted immediately.
Successfully breaking into 2 of the systems.
Russia had nothing to do with me winning.
One Dutch group even managed to reprogram a voting computer to play chess, showing how vulnerable the system was. Security is the biggest reason e-voting isn't widespread across Europe yet. The Netherlands went back to paper and pencil after 10 years of an electronic system because of security fears. Supporters of electronic voting often say it increases participation in elections, but there isn't really evidence to back that up. A trial in Norway showed there was no difference in voter turnout. And even in Estonia, which saw a huge spike in voter turnout when they began e-voting, says the number of voters have gone back down. For Estonians, the novelty value faded fast. Setting up electronic voting is not cheap. Ireland spent more than €50 million creating an online voting system, only to decide it wasn't secure enough to use in an election. But the systems need less staff on the day for counting, and some groups say it could save the government up to £18 million per election. That's enough to pay for around 3,800 children's entire primary school education. The government has commissioned inquiries into e-voting and even trialled it in Gateshead. But as yet, we remain a firmly paper and pencil kind of country.